them. So I do want to go to your place. Oh my goodness. And we have a pending thing for that. But so right now during the pandemic and everything, can people go to your place and how does that session like I sign up for your program, which for me is now it makes even more sense that it's not a coaching session. It's like a long-term commitment to better myself, right? I'll go with you, like I'm coaching with you on the phone. And then when do I go to your place? What happens? Walk me through it.
Yeah. So, I have people that live here in the area. So maybe we meet on occasion, but we also have the opportunity to do immersive work. And that's really something that I'm quite passionate about because we can really uncover so much in a few days, right? We can get really clear about some of the patterns that we're operating from in our thought processes and our emotions, some of the patterns or stuck trauma, some of those things like that we can uncover. And so a new client comes in, and of course, true to my word, the very first thing I start to assess is where are they at in relationship to their body? Are they dysregulated? Are they operating from a regulated, calm, peaceful nervous system, or is there dysregulation? And we start there with bottom-up regulation through the brainstem, doing regulated rhythmic sensory information. So giving the body a regulated, patterned way of connecting to the environment and itself. And then as we get the body online, as we get the brain online and start making new cross-brain connections, then we start to weave in aspects with the horse. And sometimes we can do that regulation work with a horse as well. Things like connected grooming even, right? So we have mirror neurons in our brain that help us regulate that if I'm petting the horse, my brain also perceives through my mirror neurons that I myself am being pet, which can be a very nervous system soothing and regulating. And then of course, like you layer in the rhythm of what it is like to pet an animal, right? There's a rhythm that we naturally fall into or can fall into. So we do things like that to get the brain and body first online, right? Functioning at a better place. And then we start looking for a horse that we want to work with. So we take some time meeting everyone in my herd and getting to know them a little bit, and then finding the one that we want to work with. That's not my choice. I don't tell a client who to work with. It's something that they pick on their own. And then I start guiding that client through asking for connection, asking for a relationship. And there's some things that we do that are specific to horses, right? So we have to speak in the horse's language. They're not verbal creatures. We have to ask them with nonverbals. So there's a little bit of education on that, but it's all groundwork. There's no riding. And it's through making these requests, where do we get stuck in making the request? What is difficult for me about making the request? Am I clear in my request? Does the horse have any idea what I'm asking for? How do I respond when the horse responds to me? That all gives us a ton of feedback. And then we start working through what that means, where that shows up in our life, where that has become a block for us elsewhere, and start to kind of expand from there.
Wow. Ashley, let me ask you something. When is your book coming out?
Oh gosh. Maybe incredible. One day.
I'm just like, of one thing, the mirror neurons. It's so powerful because I think that this is suitable to understand for any situation in life when we are with our children, our loved ones, when we're in nature, when we're smelling a flower, etc. I love what you said about the mirror neurons of the horse. When I'm petting the horse, I feel like I'm petting myself. And when I'm doing this with my community, it's just so, this could be life changing if people understand this. How powerful it is, this awareness that you just brought, that it's a must for us to do our inner work so we can share better mirror neurons with each other, so you can be in my presence and feel safe. I can be in your presence and feel safe. We can be in the presence of nature and actually collaborate with it instead of destroying it. We can be in relationships, nourishing and nurturing each other instead of going into battles based on trauma or based on lack of inner work into who's right. We can build better communities, better mother-daughter, mother-son, father-daughter, father-son relationships, and wife and husband relationships. So the implications of what you just said for the benefit of the future, it's huge. I am so grateful that you do this work, and I'm so grateful I know you, so I know I can find you. But it's really the work that is needed right now, Ashley.
I completely agree with you. And I love that you're bringing up these connections to relationship, because that really is the core of everything that I do. You know, sometimes people will say like, oh, are you a business coach? Are you a life coach? Are you a health coach? What do you do? And while I don't necessarily call myself a relationship coach, the way that I look at it is that we are in relationship at all times with all things. I have a relationship with my business. I have a relationship with my kids. I have a relationship with my horses. I have a relationship with my body and my food. And the way we show up in relationship actually changes how we live this life. And so if we really get good at doing the inner work, what that inner work really looks like is healing our relationship with ourselves, healing our relationship with others. And the relationship really is the vehicle for this change, this healing work. And so if we partner with a horse and are able to understand ourselves in relationship better through that feedback that we get through the horse and through learning to have a connected relationship with that horse, we can take that same information and say, okay, well, you know, maybe I wasn't very good at receiving feedback from the horse. You know, maybe I ignored them quite a bit and I missed some of the information they were giving me because I was lost in my own thoughts. Where else in my life do I do that? Where else do I get lost in my own thoughts and miss the reality of the situation or miss the feedback that I'm getting, you know, at my workplace or with my boss or something like that? And so then it really becomes a small change with the horse, a small change with the way that we show up in that relationship dramatically impacts all other relationships. And you're right. Once we become connected to ourselves and understand this and have this awareness, we start helping other people, like a lamp lighting another lamp, a candle lighting another candle. My nervous system feels safe, right? And then we just change the whole world.
Ashley, I don't know after what you just said. I think this was mic drop after mic drop. Wow. Wow, Ashley, this is so incredible, love. You know, I think, you know, if you allow me, you know, I would like to invite you more often into the podcast. You know, we have a couple of series of podcasts coming out, but because what you are bringing is really medicine for the body, the mind, and the spirit, and especially for the nervous system, without using the word medicine as someone telling me, you know, oh, what are we taking? It's really what we need right now in humanity. Wow, that was mic drop. You know, I have nothing else to say after that. This is a way to help each other right now. And a thing that I do want to emphasize for everybody listening, if you have challenges with relationships, you have challenges with interacting with other human beings, working with a horse may be the solution with you. And obviously do it with an expert. The people that just want to do it by themselves, I'm telling you, when I tried that, I didn't have results. When I hire mentors and coaches and specialists, I don't only work with anyone. You know, I like to work with the best, even if I have to invest, you know, my savings or whatever, because I know what that gives to me and those I serve. I want to become always a better mother, a better servant leader, a better listener, a better student, a better teacher, coach, etc. I cannot do that without support. And Ashley, you know, your expertise is out of the charts, love. I really look forward to read your book and to be in your program. So tell us, where can people find you, Ashley? First of all, tell me, how can people start working with you? And then we'll go over the social media and all of that.
Sure. So right now at this time, we're just getting ready to start opening up for spring sessions on my farm, but I also have a second facility that I operate out of in the winter. So if someone really wanted to come to North Dakota in the cold, well, that's always a possibility.
We hope we'll be proud.
Yeah, right? Yes. Wim Hof would love us. So spring work is opening up here soon. Spring is beautiful in North Dakota, a little muddy, but I think that's part of the glory of nature, right? To get in the mud, metaphorically, symbolically, but also physically. and either starting sessions with Zoom or by phone, where we start really working on regulating the body, tapping into where we're at, and then having an immersive weekend or a day with me on the farm and figuring out, what that looks like for you. I'm very flexible. So at this point in the game, I've been doing this work for a long time that it really is individual. So I know about how much time it takes for us to do this work in real time, but we can figure out how to map that out over weekends or months or however that
and
needs to
also
look.
You cook, right? Tell me, because that's like one of my goals of being like, of creating the time for me to be there. I have to be there with you at least for a week, right? At least for a week, because just to be immersed in your presence, in your mirror neurons, in the way that you just cook, you talk to the chickens, you are with the horses, you literally become an embodied human being with a healthy central nervous system. Tell me a little bit about your food preparation and all of that. That's I'm a fan of yours in that regard.
Oh, thank you. So this is really in connection with nature, is how I operate. So we have a really large garden here on the farm. And so as we get into the growing season, we really do pick our food. We grow our food. And that's very, very important to me. And it's 100% plant-based here on the farm. We don't consume any animal products, although I have chickens. The chickens have a job, and their job is to eat bugs in the garden and fertilize. But we're very conscious of our connection to the earth and each other and how we nourish our bodies, right? I'm very conscious of that. So again, always being in relationship with my body from a nourishing, whole, connected place. So and our days start early, right? So it is farm, it is work, It is hard work. Food prep looks like a lot of beans, a lot of rice, a lot of cooking in batches, but then a lot of fresh, raw foods, especially as we move into the summer. I have some thoughts about our gut health and feeding our healthy microbes. So almost everything is just an abundance of fiber. I think if I could sum up the way that we eat and the way that we plan our food for me and my kids, it's always with a fiber focus, which sounds not so luxurious, but it's actually so good for you.
Wow. I'm so excited. This is incredible. This is incredible, and what is needed. Plus, Ashley, you and the way you live and with your children and your farm and the hard work, this is the model that needs to be reeducated into humanity. So we can grow our own foods. We can reestablish and reconnect, with nature, with a healthy relationship. And from there, have healthy relationships with ourselves first, with our body, and with other human beings. Love, thank you so much. So people can find you on Facebook, Instagram. Tell us your website. Tell us everything. And I really encourage everyone to reach out to Ashley. Everyone, if you can save your money or invest your money into going into an immersive with her, I will recommend having coaching, but my take on this is that the immersive will change your life, because all of the components that Ashley delivers are the things that are needed right now. So where can people find you, love?
Yes, on Facebook. So Facebook and Instagram are two of the fastest places to find me. That's where all of my content is. Lots and lots of free content, lots of free videos to start absorbing and understanding. My group that I operate is Whole Life Wellness. You can find it pretty easily. You can find me, Ashley Lauren, on Facebook, and at Whole Life Ashley on Instagram. So those are great options to get connected with my work and me, and just drop me a message and say hello. Let me know what you thought of today and our beautiful conversation.
Wonderful. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Ashley, so much. And any last thought? I always ask everyone that is in the podcast, any last words, like a blessing or something for us to keep building sovereign futures in humanity, which actually starts with the sovereign future now, which is in ourselves. So any last words before departing?
My only last words are the words that I think are the truest for me in this lifetime is the body is the path, right? So all of the change that we're looking for, the body has the answers.
And with that, everyone,